Stephanie here, and welcome to Thora Recap, where I recap what we did during our StoryTots Virtual Tea Party on Zoom. So in case you weren't able to come to the Zoom meeting, stay tuned because I'll be reading the story that we read during that. So get the kiddos together, settle down, and get ready for a story. So summer reading just started this week, and our theme this year is Imagine Your Story, which is all about fantasy, dragons, Harry Potter, princesses, and all things fairy tales and magical. So, for StoryTots, we did twisted versions of normal fairy tales. And this week, we read, seriously, Snow White is so forgetful. While we were reading this, I dressed up as Snow White herself, and Brad was our magic mirror. And he kept popping up during the story and, well, interrupting the story and causing all sorts of trouble. So let's get to the story. Seriously, Snow White was so forgetful. The story of Snow White as told by the dwarfs. I love Snow White dearly. She's a beautiful person inside and out. But honestly, the girl's got a mind like a leaky bucket. Here's the real story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. My name, by the way, is Seven. We dwarfs used to have real names, but Snow White couldn't remember them. One day, we came home from the mines to find our cottage door open. We thought we'd been burglared, but no. It was just a lovely little girl, sound asleep. In the morning, she had quite a story to tell. "Hello," she said. "I'm Snow White. The queen sent me into the woods and a hunter was supposed to kill me, but he was nice and let me go and I wandered a long time in the woods. Guess I'm very pretty, but that's why the queen doesn't like me. I'm Snow White. Would it be all right if I lived with you? I love playing house and keeping house for real. It really wouldn't be all that different, would it? Did I tell you my name is Snow White?" Wow, did that girl have energy. Life with Snow White was interesting. She'd forget to turn on the stove. She'd forget to turn it off. She'd make banana cream pie and forget the bananas. She'd knit scarves that were 10 feet long just because she'd forgot to stop. On the bright side, she laughed at all of our jokes and she never complained about anything. Years passed. Snow White grew up. She didn't really change. She remained her sweet, charming, forgetful self. Then one day, Five heard a rumor. "The queen knows where Snow White is and knows she's alive," he told us. "The magic mirror spilled the beans." At this point in StoryTots, Brad as the magic mirror popped up in the mirror that was behind me, and, well, we had a lot of fun berating him for spilling the beans about Snow White. We gave Snow White orders to stay inside the cottage. She was not to open the door to anyone. We knew the evil queen would try to hurt her. But Snow White quickly forgot. Twice we came home to find her lying on the living room floor. It was clearly the work of the queen. The first time, Snow White couldn't breathe. She was wearing a brand new corset that was laced too tightly. The second time, she had a poison comb in her hair. All the queen had to do was dress up as an old woman and offer something pretty for sale. Any thoughts of being careful went right out of Snow White's head. We posted reminders. We even wrote, "Do not open the door" in syrup on her pancakes. Just right down here. But once again, we came home to find Snow White on the floor. This time, we couldn't help her. There was no corset to loosen or comb to remove. We thought she was dead, killed by a magical spell. And yet, days passed, she reigned as lovely as ever. "It's like she forgot to wake up," Five whispered. We couldn't make ourselves bury her, so we placed Snow White in a glass coffin and brought her to a spot on the mountainside. We took turns guarding her. Thankfully, that's not the end of the story. One day, I heard voices in the woods. "No, Your Majesty, it's not time for lunch. We ate our lunch an hour ago, don't you remember?" "Oh, right, silly me." Suddenly, I was face to face with the prince, but he barely noticed me. He couldn't take his eyes off Snow White. "What happened to her?" he asked. "What's her name?" I told him the whole story. "She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen," he breathed. "Those lips, those eyes. What did you say her name was again?" "Could I take her with me? Now that I've seen her, I don't think I can live without her. What silky hair she has. Tell me again, what's her name?" I smiled. The prince reminded me of a certain someone. We were bringing Snow White back to the cottage so the other dwarves could say goodbye. Without warning, the prince stopped into her room. "Hey, what about lunch?" The servant slipped, the coffin slid, and Snow White coughed. I'd never heard such a beautiful sound. Out of her throat flew a bit of rosy red apple. Rosy red poisoned apple, that is. She sat up. "Did someone say something about lunch?" she asked. Oh, Snow White. Yes, Snow White married the prince, of course. The queen actually showed up to the reception, if you can believe it. Everyone threw dinner rolls at her and booed so loudly that she ran away and was never heard from again. Things are pretty much back to normal now. When it gets cold outside, we're grateful for our 10-foot scarves. And every once in a while, we make banana cream pie without the bananas, just for old time's sake. The end. Wasn't that a great story? So after our story, we talked about our color of the day and our letter of the day. Our color of the day was red, for apples. And our letter was the letter A, also for apples. So today's episode of Royal Recap is brought to you by the color red and the letter A. After that, we made our own little magic mirror in honor of Mirror Brad. And then we asked the mirror who the fairest of them all was, and of course, it was me and all of my friends. We also gave away a copy of, seriously, Snow White is So Forgetful. And one of our lovely participants won the book. So thanks for joining me for the Royal Recap, and don't forget to tune in next week for another Royal Recap. And make sure that you come join us for all the fun during StoryTots Virtual Tea Party, Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. on Zoom. I'll see you next time. And remember,